did Cristiano Ronaldo. Really unfortunate. The heel-to-heel, a skill move that we don't really see a lot. Executed to perfection inside the box. And that slim 3 inches of post separating XL in a quarter-final tie, because 3-0 is almost an insurmountable task for Makers.
Well, let's check across to our other game that's underway if we can. Game 1, head over there. That's 1-1 at the moment as it stands. We'll give you an update as all the goals go in here from the FIFA E World Cup. This is a battle of the big men last game. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Wout Weghorst. Chance coming in on this side for Ninjas in Pyjamas. It doesn't come to anything. Keep in mind, Ruud Gullit is in a right back. They have tried to match the meta. That was the storyline coming out from that game. They teased it to me last night via a game of paddle. It is happening. It's confirmed.
We're just having a quick look over to that left-hand side. Nothing came of the chance that Ninja in Pyjamas were building up. Possession given away here for Makers. They come forward. But again, 30 minutes gone, nothing to report at the moment. Have a look at that behind us as well, Brandon. Just the studio, the setting. It's a really, really impressive feat. Quick turnaround as well.
Yeah, someone will be picking up $100,000 tomorrow, and that all-important trophy that you may have seen at the top of the show today. This place will also play home the Bella Arena of the FIFA E Nations Cup next week too. So if you are a local in Copenhagen, get yourself down here for that one next week. There is going to be a lot of people here in the Ascendancy, both tomorrow and across the board. There's been a goal in the other game. Let's jump over and see it. This is big in the complexion of the tie. Who's got the goal? Is it Wout Weghorst? No, it's CR7, the man who's got his own sort of in-game animation of his own jumping stance. This is where it gets difficult for Anchor Esports. Have they got a plan F?
I just saw it over my left shoulder. Whipped into the back post and a thumping header. Just as we went off that game as well, Makers came forward. Best chance of the game so far for Team Makers. They hit the crossbar from inside the box. A really good opportunity. He worked it well, did Team Makers. Finesse shot inside the box, and it bounced off the top of the crossbar, but they could be in again here.
They've got numbers forward. R9's in the ascendancy, so is Cristiano Ronaldo. There's an overlap on the left. Mbappe has he got the legs? Yes, he has. Over João Cancelo, drops inside. What a block on the line from Bellingham. There was 3 XL shirts there, backing up Van der Sar.
If in doubt, throwing the body on it. The XL mantra at the moment. Makers building into this matchup. This game's not over yet. The next goal will decide everything in this round of 16 tie.
Just an update. It is 32 minutes into Ninjas Pyjamas Anchor. 2-1 Ninjas in Pyjamas. Sorry, that is your update there as it currently stands. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a header. That man's got his own leap in game. Here's XL looking to make it 3. In it goes. CR7. He was there.
Yeah, just asking the question at the back post. The ball gets launched out of play, 0-0. As we do go into the second half, jumping back over here to this Anchor and Team Ninja in Pyjamas matchup. 2-1, Oilito and Levidawi do lead at the moment.
Ramos charging forward. For Ninjas in Pyjamas, there might now be a man down on that left hand side. They want to go for an overlap. They'll attack at pace because they know there's an extra body not back at the moment. He's back now. They're looking for something in particular. Number 19 on your screen in a white shirt. I guess it's like a double. It's a double whammy for them because Ronaldo's in the box as well.
Well, even Mbappe as well, if it comes back across, if it's not a direct shot, but if you look for a header down, Mbappe can always do something at the back post as well.
Well, let's stay with this one till half-time. There's only a minute left plus additional time. Ninjas in Pyjamas will take us into half-time. Let's jump back across to XL Makers. That's half-time there. This one's just got back underway. in the second half. XL still lead by 2 goals to nil, kicking from right to left in that white kit makers in their own esports strip in FIFA 22. With it all to do here, when Rich, as they get to the stage where they have to start piling bodies forward, and got to make something change tactically at least.
I think around probably the 60th, 65th, you'll start to see bodies and numbers streaming forward for team makers. We're already starting to see a little bit of that. I wouldn't say desperation, but maybe mixing up the game plan as they've whipped a few into the back post. What a pass.
This could be it. He went with Ramos, which is brave. And taking the words from your mouth, Rich, what a ball that was. Found Ramos in so much time and space. Corner to play now. Ronaldo's being in control right on the penalty area.
Looks like it could be a near post flick on potentially.
Or XL looking for here. I find Ramos in loads of space. Mbappe! It was time green, but Michael matched it up.
It's a nice corner technique, to be honest. The way that they've pulled Ramos short, almost faking the cross. It's been a pass into his feet, and then Mbappe on the edge of the box. Nice to see a number of different set pieces up the locker, in the locker, should I say, up the sleeve for XL at the moment.
Time ticking down. As makers are getting closer and closer, being knocked out of the FIFA E Club World Cup. There is a chance here, but there's been a goal somewhere else, and it's gone in for Anchor Esports. And as you just saw there in the crowd, Corrugate Esports there watching. Who scored this time? Ronaldo with the flick on. Mbappe with the cheekiest of flicks.
On those second balls, on those second phases of play, you want someone who's a little bit more nimble inside the box to get on the extra touch, to poke it past the goalkeeper. He is dangerous, Mbappe, in those areas.
Well, there's the balls cued from makers. They know it's go time. And will they get a chance to get back in this, especially if XL can pull this one back? Let's jump back across while the pause is happening here. Again, remember, win this, quarter-final ties are in the books.
I bet it's a bit nervy on the stage at the moment, because you know that it's one cross, one moment separating you in a quarter-final tie.
Especially when you haven't lost a game yet. If you are ninjas in pyjamas. We went 4 wins, 6 draws. Only conceded 6 goals though, Rich. They don't ship many goals. I mean, they've conceded 2 just across these games. They were the best defensive team alongside Movistar Riders and Tottenham Esports out of the 24 teams that were here. And that one matched pretty well. Let's jump across. XL makers. The subs have been made for makers here, Rich. I'm guessing it's a case of, as we'll always see, constant press. This is their last chance to get something in this game.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look at the bottom left corner to see who it is who's been introduced.
I think it might be Alfonso Davies. Heung-min Son.
Heung-min Son has been brought on, Alfonso Davies, and I think another one of the attacking players potentially could be Sadio Mane down the middle of the pitch there, who's just bursting into the penalty area, number 21 at the back post.
Here's their chance to get the ball forward. Now it's a gift for Mane.
No one there
to play the one more, and there was just no one there. Defended well by XL.
This could be game.
This could be game, set, match. Pascal Kimpembe. There's an option at the back post.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity to kill the game off. They're going to come forward.
Chance. Sadio Mane.
Oh, he's took it off.
The touches, the bounces, he's just not falling. for the Swedish duo. Look at the white shirts now bombing on forward. They can conclude it now, XL. Options at the back post. Possession again, given away. They'll try their best to press the ball and win it back. 14 minutes left. Two goals needed for Makers.
It's far from over this game because Makers are coming forward with real intensity.
Renatamos.
It's in those areas where XL have been so good at cutting out that pass before it enters the box, cutting out that interception before it penetrates, and you're then faced up with a five-star skiller who's going to try and twist and turn to get a shot away.
Well, the other game is in the 72nd minute. We'll see this one out first, and then we'll jump across unless there's any goals to talk about in the meantime, all right?
It's good composure. Just goes out of play.
And keep in mind, the winner of this game will play the winner of Movistar Riders against Dire Wolves. That game coming up later on this afternoon. Here's Makers now. It's time to go. It's time for a goal. 6 minutes left. It's becoming mathematically impossible near enough. I think it is. Chance. CR7 defended well again. They've been superb at the back. They've rid all the tackles. They threw bodies in the way. And it's not just going to be a 2-0 result. It's going to be a massive clean sheet for them too.
Yeah, there's been a few mistakes in this last 15 minutes. It's got a little bit nervy for XL, but they've done well, have the British lads. And it could be game, set and match. Then Mbappe inside the box, cuts it back, doesn't find a white shirt, but that will be impossible for Makers to score 2 goals in such a quick period of time.
Well, it'll be their best ever finish in a FIFA E Club World Cup. Top 8 guarantee. They will be into the next round of fixtures here. A big 2-0 result. And as soon as the referee blows his whistle and we get the winning reactions, we'll jump across. But they've got to be feeling good, Richard. We said it in commentary before the game. They seem like a much more
well-drilled,
prepared, well-polished outfit, and they look like a team to beat in this tournament.
Yeah, just waiting for the full-time whistle there. Let's stay on this game to see that reaction from XL when they do progress through to the quarter-finals, and then we'll jump over for the final 10 minutes of Team Nip and Anchor.
I think they want a third it.
Could be extra time on the cards in that game.
Referee, come on. Blow it up. Fortunately, it will be commiserations. There's goal. Oh, my God. How have you missed that? Anyway, forget about that. XL, congratulations. You're in the top 8. Let's jump across now to this game, which is a lot more tighter. Ninjas in Pyjamas against Anchor Esports. Winner of this one will go through to play Schalke or Neo in the quarter-finals.
Oli Bully not being a back-to-back Club World Cup champion, did it last year with Makers alongside Principe. This year do fall at the round of 16. Do Makers, Sweden.
Well, Zlatan's been brought on. And Wout Weghorst also does stay on the pitch as well. So does that mean that Cristiano Ronaldo's been subbed off?
It is, yeah. I think it's Mbappe and Zlatan as the strikers, and then Vinicius Jr. and Weghorst as the wide cams. Probably coming in at the back post.
It's pretty obvious and evident what they're looking for. A cross. It's just if Ninjas in Pyjamas can...
They'll get last chance.
Stop the cross. They want to get the ball over to this left-hand side because Wout Weghorst is a right striker.
One final chance.
Oh, they're going to go the opposite way. I wouldn't surprise if they try and switch this play across. Wout Weghorst, Ninjas in Pyjamas. Great save.
Extra time.
Extra time needed here. 30 more minutes of it. If you just missed the headline news, it's that Makers are out of the FIFA E Club World Cup. XL are through, and they're the first team into the quarter-finals with a big 2-0 win. Extra time is in front of us here, as we said, after a very interesting 2-2 scoreline there, Richard. Still a lot to unfold.
2 completely opposite games as well. When you look at XL and Makers. It was quite a cagey affair at times. There were quite a few mistakes as we got into the final third of that match. Makers were throwing bodies forward. XL had 2 or 3 chances. I think that's why they play smiling into the game, to just rattle that game off, to kill it off. Couldn't quite get over the line until they got into that final couple of minutes, and as soon as the ball went up, they knew it was all over. Really, really good outing so far here at the Club World Cup for Team XL. When you look at the E-World Cup from last weekend, what was the big deciding factor? Who won it? Umit. But what was his key? Consistency. XL are on a very similar path. They've done very well in the group. Yep. They've been consistent over 2.5 days right now. And as we go into the quarterfinals, they've got absolutely nothing to worry about.
No, so far, so good. And as we always said, you can have the best group stage record all you want. Knockout FIFA is very, very different. No one's talking about your group stage, are they, when you win the tournament? They're talking about how you played the knockouts. Look, you made it to lifting the trophy.
You could win 3 penalty shootouts in a row, and if you win that final, no one cares how you got there. All that matters is if you lift that trophy at the end of the day. And you are the Club World Cup champion, $100,000 better off, and your name in the history books when it comes to this tournament.
Extra time underway. Ninjas in pyjamas kicking from left to right. Looking for a place in the final 8, where, as I said, they'll be taking on the winner of Schalke or Neo. One of the German teams is guaranteed. It's Zlatan Ibrahimovic for Anchor Esports. Great save, Alisson.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Look at the height in this box.
I haven't seen much of their set pieces, Anchor. What have they got? They've got Wout Weghorst there. Nothing too fancy about that one. Just find the big man in the box and try and connect to the header.
Alisson, right place, right time. I think if they brought him out a little bit further, could have been dangerous, because could have got sort of the animation where the keeper flounders at it and it goes straight over his head. He was far enough back in his goal to see it a long way and collect it. We didn't have a lot of penalties last week in the knockout stages. I think one of the only times we saw penalties were in the grand final.
Ninjas in pyjamas. Weghorst is there! And that could be the ultimate payback to the team that pretty much began this Wout Weghorst meta. Ninjas in pyjamas adapted, so we can do that too. And it could be the Dutch forward that could have just scored the goal to send them into a top 8.
Must be painful for Anchor Esports to see your guy, your man, score against you in the biggest game of the tournament thus far. 103 minutes on the clock, and Wout Weghorst fires Team Ninjas in pyjamas back in front. As you see both sides of the coin here, the defensive and then offensive tactics being adjusted and tinkered with. 18 minutes left to play. Something has to give.
Let's see what plan they've got next up their sleeve. As you can probably imagine for Ninja Pyjamas, it's a case of sitting back and soaking up all the pressure. Well, let's have a look at the goal that separated these two as it stands so far. We said about watch out for crosses this year, especially in this current era of competitive FIFA. There he is at the back post, no one stopping him.
It's as soon as Weghorst gets that little bit of space at the back post and you see the matchup between defender and attacker, you almost know exactly what's going to happen. As soon as he created that space at the back post, we knew there was going to be a goal. As long as he aims it on target, it's about as inevitable as it comes.
They'll try and get the last chance of this first 15 minutes of extra time. Just if there'll be enough time to play. No, there won't. Half time and extra time between these two. 15 minutes to keep them in the tournament. For Anchor Esports, I can assure there'll be a big Saudi Arabian community watching this one from the Middle East, supporting the only Saudi team that are in the tournament through what is a very difficult task in front of them. 15 minutes left to play here. It's a question for Ninjas in Pyjamas, Olilito and Levi David of how they can see this one out.
So nervy. All it takes is one good cross. All it takes is one good leap. We know what's going to happen. We know what both teams are going to look for. I think maybe a slightly more conservative approach from Team Ninja in Pyjamas in this second half of extra time.
For Anchor, though, it's just a case of where can we find the crossing moment? There's one example. Wout Weghorst for a touchdown. That time was the plan.
Have to stop the ball going into the wide areas.
Look at the space available as they've gone for this one. Ronaldo's in the box. Chance to conclude it. That wicked deflection off the back of Ruud Gullit's leg is pretty much saved Anchor there from being 2 goals down.
Well, you see the wing of attack, the method of attack. It's going to be coming in.
If they score, you'll be able to hear them from here at the commentary booth as well. They will be making all the noise in the world. There was the cross idea again. They just have to stop the cross, which so far they're doing. But there's such an overload happening here from Anchor. You can understand why. They're just looking at options. Anyone in the box waiting? Lurkin moving, goalkeeper movement teased. There's Wout Weghorst. Ruud Gullit, that's his job.
That's what he's in there for.
It was Latin there at the back post that time, but he's just stopped him.
The goalkeeper movement was all over the place as well. It was frantic.
Could be through to conclude the tie. It's a case of just letting that clock run down now for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Ooh,
and they'll look back.
One more chance.
On that moment, potentially, of Ruud Gullit stopping Zlatan Ibrahimovic from heading that one towards their goal. It's a moment of magic, preparation.
They're going to get one more cross.
Chance.
They're going to get one more cross into the box.
So naughty tackle from Jude Bellingham, who goes into the book. At a time of a minute, which is pretty much played. Set piece magic. Can we see it from a team that has given us magic in this tournament?
You see Weghorst selected there at the back post.
If they make this happen, this would be remarkable. Last chance to keep themselves in the tournament. They are letting time run down too. In it goes. Surely going to be defended well by Bellingham. Out of play. It should go. Ninjas in Pyjamas book a top 8 and maybe just end the Wout Weghorst meta that is being created over the last 3 days here in Copenhagen. It will be Anchor Esports that fall out the tournament in the round of 16 stage. Ninjas in Pyjamas are through, and so are XL.
What a game. Back and forth all match long. Ninjas in Pyjamas eke it out in the end. An incredible performance, just about getting over the line in a slobber knocker of a match. And our very own Spencer Owen is down in the booths getting the instant reaction. Spen, it's got to be tight and cagey.
Well, guys, we saw huge celebrations from both of you there as you win that game. Is that a compliment to the guys from Anchor and how hard they made that game for you, especially as they took the lead?
I think so. Very good team, but I don't think we played well this game. We're playing a bit nervous, yeah, I think it was like just one of these games. You know, I think we're slow starters always. So now we have some time before the next quarterfinal. I think we're playing at 18 something, so we have some more time to like warm up and be fully prepared for either Schalke or Neo tonight.
Levi, most of the talk around this game has been around the Dutch striker, Weghorst, right? He actually scored a couple goals for you, one in the air, classic, but one was actually quite a nice little heel-to-heel. Who scored that one, by the way? It was you. Are we oversimplifying the game to say it was all about the use of Weghorst, or did it really come down to that?
To be honest, on our side, we don't really want to play like that. But I think they are the best team in abusing Weghorst and putting the crosses. Like, they literally only go down the right wing. Our right back didn't do anything, for example. And yeah, I don't know, they are crazy good, but so frustrating to play against.
That's a sign of a good team, right? From your guys' perspective, that you're able to adapt to the opponent in front of you and find a way to win.
Definitely. I mean, I think they should be proud. I think they had a very, very good tournament. No one expected them to like even go out from the groups, I think. So I think they should be super proud. But now we have to reset and hopefully play better versus Schalke 04 tonight.
You guys maintaining your unbeaten record as well, so well done. And I have to echo what the guys from Ninjas in Pyjamas just said. These guys here from Anchor should be really proud. It's been an unbelievable tournament for you guys. You pushed them all the way to the limit. No one's beaten them, and you came closer than anyone. You took them to extra time. How are you assessing the game?
It was a close game. They played well. We also played well. It was a close result. We had a few chances while we draw or had the lead. We missed it. The one, I think, with Wigrist and Zlatan. It was the first leg. I think that if that went in, it would be a different scenario. But it's the game. You miss, you get goals on you. So yeah.
Does it hurt more that the man who did it to you was Weghorst? They gave you a taste of your own medicine.
I mean, yeah, it's dramatic. You know, the player who got us here is the player who's going to get us out of here. So, but yeah, I mean, he did so well for us. We appreciate him, appreciate from help, and yeah, they managed to play with him as we do. So yeah.
Well, listen, guys, you should be really proud. It's been a really good tournament from both of you. I think you've made people change their game style. You know, they've looked at Anchor and they've gone, we have to play differently, or else we're going to lose. Even Levi De Veer there has just said you're a really hard team to play against. So hopefully you take this and you use it going forward. And well done to you doing it for the 33-year-olds. I appreciate you. Any last words of thanks to the people supporting you?
Yeah, I appreciate all the help, all the support. You guys have been great. And yeah, I hope we come back stronger, and congrats for Team Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Brilliant stuff. Martin Abushog there from Team Anchor. It's been a great effort from you. We'll see you again soon. Thank you guys. Back to the studio.
Well, super humble words as well from Mar from Anchor Esports there. Just congratulating as well Ninjas in Pyjamas for basically figuring out their gameplay. And obviously you've just seen, you've got a studio in the guest, Impact from SAF. Thanks for joining us, Impact. I mean, let's just break down that together. Mike's obviously still here. Impact, in terms of Anchor and how good they have been. Obviously, Ninjas in Pyjamas there, we're just saying they're so hard, especially down that right-hand side. They had to figure out that meta, how they play, and they managed to do that in extra time.
Yeah.
Says a lot about Anchor, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I feel like Anchor were sort of underdogs coming into this tournament, and I feel like they're sort of playing into their hands because no one's really had time to sort of understand their gameplay, and because it's quite unique, they've sort of caught everyone off guard in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, as well, before we get into it a little bit more, got to speak about Excel, though.
Oh, yeah.
Looking pretty dominant. A team I know that you'll know a lot as well, from the UK, similar to yourself, defeating Makers there 2-0. Really kind of progressing a little bit without us chatting too much about them. We know their quality, but what have you made of their tournament so far?
I think they've been incredible. I think it's clear to see that they've worked on a lot of things coming into this tournament. I feel like they've been good, but I feel like they've also always had that level they could go up. And I feel like they're starting to find that form in this tournament for the right time, really.
Starting to go maybe into the fifth gear, Mike, I think was what Impact is referring to there. How impressed were you with both the teams that have gone through? The right teams going through, we're going to say, based on current form?
The right teams went through, and I said at the top of the show that I feel as if a lot of the favorites, we're going to really see them turn up because it's more difficult to fix anything with a 2v2. So what you have in terms of the team that you're working with versus a 1v1 where maybe a guy wakes up and plays completely different, that's not going to necessarily be the case with these partnerships. Excel made Makers look very average, in my opinion, which is a lot of credit to Excel. If you're talking about the build-up play, the way they scored goals, they hit the post a couple times. They could have had even more opportunities or more goals. I think that scoreline at 2-0 actually is more favorable towards Makers than it is to Excel, which is saying a lot of how incredible they were in that matchup. And then, as Olito and even Levy said, I don't think they were that happy with their performance. Happy to get the win, but they didn't have as much free flow or fluidity in that matchup versus Anka.
Well, it's just grinding out results, isn't it, at this stage in the competition, making sure they go to the quarterfinals. And Excel and Ninjas in Pyjamas have got that first job of the day done. Well, now time to hand down to Spencer with another interview for us.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. I've crossed over to talk to our other victors here. It's Team Excel, obviously, Tom and Spencer, Gorilla. Guys, you've got to be pretty happy. 2-0 win, fairly clean sheet. That's good work, right?
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough game against them. We had a game plan, we stuck to it, and we played our A game. I think not conceding a goal over 2 legs, only positives.
gone up against the Tough Makers side there. Obviously, Ollie Bolly was one of the winners of the European regional event we did last year. But they're out, and XL are through. Are you guys contenders to win this whole thing now, Tom?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've been aware of it since the start, to be honest. The way we played from the start, the very first 2 games against Heretics and Ninjas, we said straight away, okay, we're playing at the level to win the tournament. We just have to make sure we bring everything we can. So far we are, but we know every game, every matchup's going to be different, so just got to be prepared for every challenge, really.
Yeah, obviously Riders or Direwolves in the next round. Have you got a preference?
No preference, as Tom just said. I think we're confident in our play. As long as we bring our A game, we're confident against anyone. But we'll watch it. We'll watch it closely, and whoever we play, we play.
Right, the guys are confident. They're looking good. They're playing well. Could we see XL go the distance? I look forward to see what they do in the next game. But for now, we're going to welcome the players for our next round of fixtures. Okay, please welcome the next players from Crew and MGCF and Reply Totem and Team Heretics are going to be joining us now. Getting in position.
Well, yeah, so the teams then have come out then for the second round of 16 matches. You've got Crew Esports taking on MGCF. Then you've got Reply Totem taking on Team Heretics. They're 2 absolutely stonkers of matchups that are expected to see. I love that word, a stonker of a matchup.
I'm adding some new stuff into the vocab.
Yeah, Luke can take that one. You can thank me later. Crew then, MGCF Impact. Crew, again, that team with Yago and Valen, we know what they're going to bring. They're going to bring emotion. What can they expect to face in terms of Team MGCF?
I think they're going to face a very tough team in MGCF. I think they're not going to be able to take it lightly. I think they've been very strong attacking-wise, MGCF, so they're going to have to shut up, stop in defence as well.
And Mike, Crew had quite a tough way through. They had to wait again for other results to go in their favour late yesterday. In terms of coming back from that, we've seen teams do it. Can they do it?
Well, we love some late drama.
We love it.
And I like this matchup in particular. I think this could be an upset matchup. We'll see how things develop, but I don't think we've seen either of these teams play at their best potential yet. But this would be the time for it.
And in terms of previous form, sticking into play, Reply Totem then, undefeated, and I think is going to go their way against Team Heretics, who haven't got into their rhythm, but Impact was saying they like 2 legs of FIFA.
I think the best of 2 format will really suit Heretics. I feel like they've done the bare minimum to get through the groups, but I feel like they're going to level up in this knockouts now. I think they're going to thrive.
I mean, Hidalgo and obviously Matthias Bonanno, they believe they can win, which is exactly what you need at this level of FIFA. Can they defeat an undefeated team?
And for their own personal standards, you got to say they can't really be worse than yesterday. And maybe that's being slightly harsh, but they barely got out of the group. They didn't do what they really needed to do in the last game either. You were thinking maybe with their backs to the wall they were going to turn a corner. That didn't happen. And unfortunately for Totem, it's been amazing. One of the special teams that kind of went under the radar. They got rewarded after a first-place finish, absolutely end-to-end football the whole way through, or end-to-end FIFA. And now they have to play Heretics in this best of 2 with the classic aggregate scoreline. So good luck to them. I still think they've been in better form, but we know what Heretics can do. We've seen the Team of the Season Cup, and coming into this tournament, they were still the favorite in my opinion.
Heretics, though, Impact, no win on day 2. 11 points, just scraped through, like Mike mentioned there. I'm going to ask you, because it's similar to Saf's day 1.
Yeah.
Struggled there, had to bounce back. What was key to you guys doing that, and what would you suggest that kind of has gone on in the Heretics camp?
I feel like the mentality of Saf, it really shows how good it is, the way they managed to bounce back from day 1, day 2. I feel like it was just good that we sort of went away and saw what we'd done wrong. We sort of knew in the moment of the games what we'd done wrong, but we sort of studied that and put things in place to sort of progress into actually winning ways.
Well, I'm sure Heretics would have done something similar, studied what they did wrong and have worked on that coming into the round of 16 today. Well, let's remind you then of the two teams we'll be seeing up first. Team Heretics, Matthias Bonanno and Hidalgo, going up against Reply Totem Esports, Santil and Moxter. MGCF Esports and Crew Esports, Creparaldi and Barreto and Yargo and Valen. Cannot wait for these two. Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley are on call again to take you through this one.
Thank you very much, Rachel. We've swapped out Richard Buckley for the moment. We brought in Alex Bowden, the FIFA analyst, who'll join me on the call of this game. He's been part of the FIFA E squad this year, covering a lot of the FIFA E Club World Cup. And it's a pleasure to commentate with you again, my friend. Alex, welcome to the commentary booth. Today's knockouts, what you make of these two matches in focus?
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the games that we have coming up. Reply Totem and Team Heretics. I think it's the story of two different teams right now. You've got Team Heretics, which, like Impact said earlier on, very much scraped through that group. But then Reply Totem, Montaxa and Santil are in absolute incredible form right now. And I'm just so excited to see how Heretics, Team of Season Cup winners, thrive in this, two-legged format.
Yeah, I think that's been their problem, hasn't it, up to this point. They have not enjoyed the best of one. But the key thing is, I look at that, Alex, and I think that they didn't like it, but they got through it.
And that is the main thing, 100%, that for Team Heretics, they didn't like that one-legged format and having that 3 points or 1 point for a draw. They made it through the group stage. That is the main thing. However, standing in their way is a Reply Totem, which are just on fire right now. They're scoring goals. They've only conceded 6 throughout this tournament as well. So not only are they scoring goals, they're also saying, you're not going to get past us, which Heretics not really known for scoring 2-3 goals in a game. They're happy to get that 1-0 lead and say, we're going to take it out and just get that over the 2 legs. So Heretics really do find themselves with their backs up against the wall. However, you can't write off the Team of Season Cup winners.
I mean, we've got to talk about Totem Esports very quickly as we focus on this featured match in front of our eyes as it stands. They're made up of an interesting 2 players. I know you followed the Serie A this year, Alex, and you saw Moncaxa, who got a top 3, but his partner Santil, haven't spoken about him and seen him too much in the Global Series in a 1v1 aspect, but it's a prime example of what 2v2 FIFA esports is all about. Not necessarily you need the 2 most well-known or top players in the world stuck together.
Yeah, and it's something that we spoke about a lot throughout this season. Can you get the best 1v1 players and put them together and make the best team? Or can you get a player like Montaxa, who's performed very well over in Italy? And Santil maybe not so much in that 1v1 scenario, but 2 very different players. Montaxa, he's calm, he's composed. He just likes to get the job done. Santil, he's been giving it large all the time. He's been scoring. He's been letting everyone know that they are here to play. And coming into it and having 19 goals scored, top of the group, if you are going to match a Team Heretics, you want to go into it with that confidence. And Reply Totem, Santil, Montaxa just have that right now.
Yeah, well, as this game's kicked off, so has another game. It is between MGCF Esports and Crew Esports. Expect a lot of noise coming from that game. It's a battle of the South Americans there. Argentina against Brazil. 2 teams that are also at the Team of the Season Cup. That one plans to be a noisy matchup, I think, to say the least, Alex.
Yeah, you've got Crew, which I think they're probably raised the decimal to the highest amount so far this week. However, MGCF certainly like to give it as well, but it's mainly their coach, actually. Sometimes it comes from the coach behind them when they score, which I really am here for. But definitely 2 teams to keep an eye on, and Crew will certainly be wanting to have the better of that. I think Crew, they scored a lot of goals in the group stage, 18 goals scored. However, they scored 7 in 1 game, so it kind of dilutes that a little bit. I think that one's very much an even matchup.
Well, I think for Team Heretics here, Alex, we expect more from them. They were the Team of the Season Cup winners. The 2 teams that were invited directly from the Team of the Season Cup, the top 2 teams there, Direwolves did just claw their way through yesterday in a top 4. But so did Team Heretics. They literally just got themselves through by the smallest of margins. It came down to game 10 yesterday in group play. Spoke to the coach, Edu, just said yesterday it just wasn't clicking. Hidalgo wasn't feeling it. Matthias Bonanno then naturally felt he had to occasionally maybe try and take things on his own with his own mazy runs, which he certainly can do. He is the flairier player in that too. But I just think today they're going to come into a different gear.
I would expect them to in that 2-legged format. The key thing for them here against Reply Totem is Heretics need to get that first goal if they want to do what Heretics do best. Obviously, Reply Totem, though, will have something to say about that. And it's interesting to see at the Team of the Season Cup, the teams that did well there, Heretics, they've won that. Direwolves, runner-up. that was almost the first 2v2 tournament that we had throughout this year. So it was very new to a lot of these players and teams, focusing on that 1v1 scenario. Then you come into 2v2, it changes up that element massively. Now, teams have had time to focus on this. I've spoke about it many times throughout this week. XL, for example. Tom and Gorilla have had a lot of time to practice in that 2v2 scenario. So now, Heretics and Direwolves maybe just don't have that edge because people have had more time to practice and more times really to suss them out.
Let's remember as well, Alex, that Team of the Season Cup was sort of end of April, start of May. There's been 8 weeks and a bit more, maybe 9 or 10 before coming into this tournament. You're right, if people have not had a good 1v1 season, they have been grinding away from home. The only thing you could have questioned is how much have they been grinding against different, regional players because they've not had that opportunity. But I think we've seen that from a number of teams, such as your XLs.
Yeah, definitely. And you say that, with regards to regions, Anchor, for example, come through and they've surprised a lot of people. Obviously, just going out to Ninjas in Pyjamas in that matchup we saw not too long ago.
Well, let's check into the other game that's currently taking place, if we can, very quickly. MGCF Esports against Crew. These two teams were also in the Team of the Season Cup. It wasn't a great outing for MGCF Esports in the nicest way. They went 0-2 in the group stages and got eliminated pretty much as soon as they could. For Crew, they did make it through to the knockout stages, did beat Montreal, then lost to Atlanta United. Of course, that was back in May time. But since then, they've had a lot of time to play. They've had to qualify for this tournament, had to go the long way round. And I still don't think that we've seen even the best Crew Esports as of yet, to be honest. They won 4 games, yeah, that's really incredible. They drew 3 and lost 3. But I thought they've got another gear, which sounds crazy for me to say, especially when they did actually quite well in the group stages.
Yeah, they came second in that group, and again, scoring a lot of goals, similar to Reply Totem, only 1 behind them on that side of things. However, Crew, I just don't feel like they've reached that level that you would expect as it stands at the minute. But for MGCF, we do have to give them credit as well, Brandon, just to say that they didn't have a good Team of the Season Cup. They've spent the last 8 weeks coming through, practicing. I actually said they weren't going to make it out the group stage, and they said, you know what, analysts, no, we're going to say no, and we're going to go through and look very confident into that knockout stage. So it really does give you that confidence when you've had the last 8 weeks to take that time and practice, and it's showing for them right now.
And also, let's not forget, in South America too, which is so competitive, Alex, they've made it through that difficult qualification there, which was incredible. Let's jump back into Team Heretics against Reply Totem. There's one thing you don't know about Reply Totem. I mean, we didn't know all about them too much, is that they were very consistent in qualification to the FIFA E Club World Cup in terms of they were just getting results after results after results. What's more impressive about them, Alex, is they came through in Europe and they literally, I believe, started in Division 3 in week 1. By week 4, they were second in Conference 1 Division 1, or Conference 1 Division 1. They'd literally just found their way through and have been so good.
Yeah, and what that means for people at home is basically they have been consistent every single week, winning that division, getting promoted, and finding themselves here now at the FIFA E Club World Cup. And you know what? Maybe ourselves haven't really looked too much into that prior to this tournament. To have that consistency, to win those divisions and make that way up, it's a very difficult thing to do in what is a competitive region. And Santil and Montaxa gone under the radar, but come to the group stage of this, and they've just said, yeah, we're here to possibly win this thing.
Well, they did beat Neo, who were in this tournament, to qualify for the playoffs. Obviously, Neo took that second spot from Europe there. Obviously, that's a game that's coming up a little bit later today. Schalke take on Neo. That comes up following this one. And then Direwolves, Movistar Riders are your next 2 quarterfinals in action. At the moment, it's been goalless here so far between these two, but you'll be happy to know there's not been much Wout Weghorst introduced in any of these round of 16 games. Let's have a look at this one then. Heretics trying to build with Alphonso Davies. Ramos in pressured by Cristiano Ronaldo and the Bayern Munich fullback now as a striker with his shapeshifter in-game item, which has been very impressive, not just in this tournament, Alex, but also in the FIFA E World Cup. He pops up quite a few times.
Yeah, Nicholas was a massive fan of running that item in the middle of the park. Just gives you the pace, the defensive stats, the attacking stats, absolutely everything available. Certainly makes it more versatile for you.
Reply Totem trying to find an opportunity in the box, defended well against Team Heretics nearly goalless for 2/3 of this first leg.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me one bit. I think if you're Heretics right now, you're the happier team. 65 minutes in, we know they like to be strong defensively. The problem that Heretics have had this tournament so far, they haven't done what they do best, which is keeping the ball out of the back of the net. So they're going to be like, you know what, if we can keep Reply Totem, I'm pretty sure Heretics, Edu, would have been speaking to the players and saying, if we can get in after that first leg, 0-0, that's absolutely fine. We're very, very happy with that. Reply Totem, though, obviously, will say to one another, look, we don't concede many goals either. They do score for fun, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go in at 0-0 at this first leg.
Well, they registered 19 goals in the group stages, did Reply Totem. They were the highest goal scorers across any group. They like to score goals, and you're right to say if Team Heretics can keep them at bay for 90 minutes, it will certainly give them some confidence just to say, look, we can keep this team at bay. We've just got to offer a bit more now in the final third.
And they also didn't lose a single game of FIFA, which over 2 legs, fair enough, I can get on board with that. But obviously, when you're thinking about the group stage, having that draw and that loss, the 3 points for the win as well, it's a very difficult task to do.
Nearly the 70th minute mark in the other match up there. Let's quickly check into it. There has been a pause queued, but hopefully we'll see it just before. There was a massive save just a second ago from MGC. If it was Crew Esports, they had a brilliant chance. This is a battle between second and third from Group C and Group A. Two teams that just did enough to find their way through into the knockout stages. Let's jump back. We have missed the goal. It's always the way. Team Heretics have found their feet in knockout group stage action. What a finish it was. Was that Marcelo?
I think that was Rude Hullet picking up that goal on that right foot. And for Team Heretics, Mateus and Hidalgo right now, that's the sort of confidence that they've been missing, in my opinion. To just get that ball on the edge of the box and saying, we don't have to work the perfect opportunity. Let's go for that long-range shot and obviously finding the back of the net from it.
That was Hidalgo that hit that as well. A player that didn't have all the confidence yesterday comes up with that. That's one way to separate a game, and there's nothing to separate it. In this game, there could be a chance for MGCF Esports, who are on the hump for an opening goal. Cancelo does well. What a play. CR7 off the left boot of Marquinhos. The games are slowly but surely heating up now.
Yeah, brilliant fake shot there from João Cancelo, just finding that angle and then that pass off across into Cristiano Ronaldo. If you're going to take that shot, though, you have to be sure there isn't a defender in the way. They're going to come in with that block every single time. It was Marquinhos there doing that job for Crew. They'll be happy enough to see that one go out for a corner, but extra composure required. If you get a shot cancel in there, Brandon, you might take out that defender, and it might be 1-0 to MGCF.
A lot of smiles at the moment for Team Heretics. Just can catch the players' face cams off screen. That was something that didn't happen at all yesterday. Maybe a small smile when they qualified for play. But other than that, there's nothing really to cheer about, let alone smile about yesterday. They are 12 minutes away from taking a 1-goal lead into leg 2. What Reply Totem going to throw at them in this last 10 minutes? I can imagine a lot of pressure as they look to find a way back into this tie.
And I mentioned it earlier on, Brandon, if Team Heretics go 1-0 up against you over 2 legs, I actually don't think there's a more difficult team to try and claw back that 1-0 lead. Obviously, there's a lot of FIFA still left to play, but for Reply Totem, it is going to be a tough ask.
This is nice. Heretics building. Marcelo. Poor old scoop turn on a plate for CR7, who tries to Lacroqueta his way around the box. Quick feet. This is Matias Banano, by the way, on the ball. Look at him go in the box. CR7 on a play. Could be Humming Song, Elastico. Hidalgo does well. 1, 2, 3. How many times can he recycle it? That is the Team Heretics we know and love in FIFA Esports.
That is absolutely out of this world. Hidalgo and Mateus, the dancing, the moving inside the box. The composure. We spoke earlier on about taking a shot and having to take that defender out. Shot cancels, elasticos, you name it, it's there. And you work the most easiest of tap-ins to put themselves in a dominant position.
And you've got to give credit to Hidalgo in that, in terms of, I was teeing up Matias Banano to probably be the skiller of the two, but Hidalgo did so well there. When he defended that, what you're thinking, because you want to dive in, you want to make a tackle, you've got to make a decision, but it was just like they delayed, and next thing you know, Ronaldo has just put it into the back of the net and they're 2-0 down.
It's where in 2v2 you want to come across, you want to put that pressure on the ball holder to try and get that block in, try and take the ball off. But if you leave that man free, like you saw with Mateus, you're always going to have that simple tap in. It's so difficult to defend, but brilliant work from Team Heretics.
Well, we've just had full time in the other game. MGCF Esports 0, Crew 0. Last chance saloon here for reply. Tottenham, David Ginola gets the ball, snatched off his feet, and that will conclude us here at the end of the first leg in this round of 16. We said we would expect more today from Team Heretics, but we have seen more from Team Heretics. A brilliant 30-yard finish from Ruud Gullit, and then that one to back it up was even more special.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the sort of thing that Team Heretics haven't been doing so far throughout this tournament. Just having that confidence, say, you know what, let's try a shot from range. They get that 1-0 goal, and you can just see the change in their play style. They get inside that 18-yard box and dance around and move so well. Just puts them in such a good position, Brandon.
That was confidence we didn't see yesterday, wasn't it, from Team Heretics? Just the patience in the build-up and the extra pass, the extra skill move. How difficult is that to do for those at home that are maybe just sitting there thinking, how can I implement that into my game?
It's so difficult to do, but mainly because of the stage that they're on. Reply Totem came up the other end, and they had a chance then with Ginola, but they didn't. They went for that shot. It got blocked. You have to take those defenders out to be able to, A, move your fingers that quick, and also find your teammate who's just saying, look, pass me the ball, and I'll put it in the back of the net. It's so difficult to do, Brandon.
Well, we've spoken about it, Alex. Let's go and have a look at the goals they scored in that first leg. Team Heretics now. I'll let you guide me through these, Alex. This was goal number 1, which was a spectacular finish from Ruud Gullit, but I'll let you walk me through this goal.
Yeah, so you can see Hidalgo on the ball, the Elastico with Son coming back. The shot cancel comes in there, baiting in the defender. And you have to actually give credit to Mateus as well for the movement with Cristiano Ronaldo. Sometimes you can not be in that passing position, or you can be marked by a defender, but he just peels off that defender and says, let's give me the ball, and we'll go ahead and slot ourselves 2-0 up. It's brilliant work. Yeah,
incredible stuff from Team Heretics, the defending Team of the Season Cup winners. They only scraped through in 4th place yesterday, which was absolutely remarkable. I mean, they have come out different today. They said 2-legged FIFA suits us, and a lot of people have said if you go 1-0 down in 1-legged games, which happened yesterday, it is over. There is still a chance for Applied Tottenham, the team that netted 19 goals in group stages. Don't look like they can score at the moment. They have got another leg to come, though.
They have got another leg to come, and you know, if this was group stages, that'll be it. They'll be done. They've lost this game. They have got that second leg to have something to happen for them. However, that chance, I keep going back to it in that 90th minute. If you can go in second leg, 2-1 down, it's a little bit more of an easier task. Still very, very difficult, mind you. But for them, I just feel like they're lacking that clinicalness right now. We saw it so many times in the group stage. 19 goals scored. You don't get that many goals if you aren't clinical inside that box. And they haven't done that so far against Team Heretics. Nerves, maybe the opponents that they're playing against. Either way, though, for Team Heretics, Edu, Mateus, and Hidalgo, they're in dreamland right now.
Yeah, we will give you some highlights from the Crew Esports against MGCF game, but unfortunately it was a 0-0. There was not really too much to see in that game between the Battle of the South Americans. The winner of that game, by the way, Crew against MGCF, will play the winner of Fnatic against Corrugate. That, of course, is a quarter-final tie if it happens. And then the winner of this game will play GBX, the team that qualified from Asia, or a team you know very well in Serious About FIFA, SAF Esports. That one could potentially be a fantastic round of 16 game later today.
Yeah, there is some fantastic games coming up. And I think the way that we look at the bracket here of, you know, one side and the other side, the one side, the XL makers early on, we saw that. It's such a stacked side. You can't really call it from any way. While as Fnatic, you would say they probably are the advantage team a little bit. They've got that composure kind of going into it. It makes it very, very difficult. But as I said, those two brackets, Brandon, very much different in what they offer.
Yeah, well, this is part 1 of the bracket. You could say XL are the only team that are through. They'll play Movistar Riders or Dire Wolves. Crew Esports against MGCF is now. And then Fnatic against Corrugate, of course, is coming up a little bit later today. Tottenham Esports will now take on Team Heretics. Obviously, there is a bottom half of that bracket. We'll guide you through it as the day does unfold. Obviously, as we said, there is an opportunity as we see it now on our screen that the winner of this one will play GBX or SAF, and then Ninjas in Pyjamas find themselves in a very good position. Top 8 guaranteed in their first ever outing in a FIFA E Club World Cup. They'll take on one of the German teams, Schalke or Neo. They've been playing a lot against each other, Schalke and Neo. That one, I can't call which way it's going to go.
And I feel for Schalke and Neo, purely because both obviously German sides, they're going to be good friends as well. And they've matched each other in that first round of the knockout stages. I can't call it either way. I mean, Schalke may be in better form. We saw Neo pick up quite a few draws in their group stages. So Schalke probably edge it ever so slightly. But obviously the team of Neo, you can't write off either. So, but yeah, do feel for them matching up against each other, Brandon.
Well then, it's time for second leg action here. In the round of 16 of the FIFA E-Club World Cup, you're tuning in. We've still got 6 more rounds of FIFA to give you today. So don't go anywhere, there's plenty of 2v2 FIFA esports coming live from Copenhagen. It's all to do for the Italian team. They reply Tottenham, who'll be kicking from left to right. They are 2-0 down against Team Heretics, who have looked outstanding, have looked like a different team, a team that we knew back in April. And so far, so good for them. If they get another goal, Alex, 3 goals, I just don't see it being turned around.
For Reply Totem, they have to be the ones to get that goal straight away in this game. And ideally, in the first half. The longer you leave it, you have to enable constant pressure, go to a more attacking formation, and then you start sending men forward. Heretics will be licking their lips if that happens and goes, thank you, we'll capitalise on that counter-attack and grab that 3rd goal. So Totem really do need a strong start in this game.
Let's wait for this attack to play out, then let's check in with the South American game. Marcelo. Ronaldo from distance, defended well. João Cancelo now. Into the box it will go. Will it be defended by Heretics? No, it won't. Hullet, one more chance! Off the post and in! Tottenham Esports with a lifeline and a way back into the tie. An early goal is massive for the Italian duo.
What I really liked there was the cross coming in from João Cancelo. Yes, it didn't get on that end, but Hullet got himself on the end of the ball, wins it, and says, look, let's look for that cutback off a cross. Goalkeeper pushes it onto the post, but Ronaldo reacts the quickest. Montaxa and Santil, we spoke about it, Brandon. They needed to be the ones to score first to give themselves a lifeline, and they've done exactly that.
Well, let's jump across and check in with the South American derby, you can call it. Crew Esports against MGCF. It's Argentina versus Brazil. 0-0 so far. We haven't followed this game too much. Let's stay with it just for a few minutes. So far, nothing to talk about with these two teams. I can only put it down to the fact they may have brushed shoulders. A few times. Yeah, they were both in the same regional qualifiers. They obviously are both under South America. In the playoffs, did they brush shoulders at all? I'll have to have a little quick look. Well, they did. It was the game to qualify them. So they've actually played one time, the biggest of all times. It was actually a 3-2 win for MGCF Esports, which was a qualification game for this tour. And that came back in June, early June that was. So these two have played against each other quite a few times, Alex. That might be a reason why this game is so tight.
Yeah, when you played against a team so many times, you know their strengths, you know their weaknesses, and they know yours. And it's actually one of the best ways to practice as well, Brandon, because you have to think outside the box and do something different. But obviously for these teams, playing against each other in tournament structures, Crew and MGCF, it really is a difficult one. Chance coming through, though.
Crew on the hunt for an opening goal. Elastico reverse, Elastico 1-9 still. This is still 1-9! And it's an opening goal for Iago! And you can see exactly what it means to him as he literally shouts in the face of his teammate Valen and says, let's get up for this, come on.
I was going to say, Brandon, why did he lay it off? Teammate was there, ready, saying, give me the ball, we'll pull it. He puts it on his back and says, I'm going to carry this and put it away myself. R9, unbelievable feat. Kind of what we saw in the Team Heretics game as well, to have that confidence when you do manage to drive into that penalty area. It's so difficult to defend because they can chop, they can turn, but clinicalness and composure. And that's the difference where we saw MGCF protect that Hullet pass more than the R9. And if you give Iago that space on the ball, he will capitalise every opportunity he gets.
Just a quick one. Look at the positioning of Crepaldi, by the way. How far away is he from his gaming monitor? Chance, MGCF! Oh my, they hit the woodwork. I mean, everyone's got their own preference of where they sit when they play FIFA, but it's normally a bit closer to the screen than where Crepaldi's sitting.
Yeah, there's some players that choose to have their Always full head in the monitor, Brandon, but it's whatever makes you comfortable. So many different players have different approach on their seating position, whether they listen to music, listen to game sound, wherever it may be. What are you? Are you nice and close in the monitor?
I'd say a fair distance, but not too far. Let's jump back across then to our other matchup in focus. There was a goal back last time we saw it from Applied Tottenham. This game is 2-1. Just them scoring that early goal, Alex, it certainly sets this tie up in the perfect way.
It does indeed, and if there's anything we know, though, Team Heretics will be saying, we're still fine with this. I don't think there's another team out there that would be the most comfortable in just that 1-goal lead advantage.
Oh, they'll be happy to see this one out. It's just if they can, because the pressure they're going to be up against is relentless. Ramos building. Reply Tottenham. Looking for a way back. They might have just found that. R9 was in the way. You don't know what or where that shot might have gone from Hullet there.
Opportunity goes begging. R9 just kind of moving to try and say, look, if you want to pass the ball to me, I'll be there. I'm just going to move over here. In the process of doing that, says I'm going to do the defensive job for Heretics and get a block in. Opportunities, though, and again, for Reply Totem, Montaxa and Santilla, just be saying, we're creeping forward. We're getting in the right areas, we're creating some chances, and they'll be happy going in at half-time 2-1. Even though they are losing, but 2-1 against Heretics, being 2-0 down. Positive stuff.
Yeah, they've taken the game too, Heretics. Let's just see how the other game is concluding at half-time. We're about to go into half-time in that game. As it stands, it is still 1 goal to the good for the Argentine duo Valen and Yago. There is one last chance, though, for MGCF. That chance will come to nothing. That's in half-time now. Let's jump back across and see how this half will also conclude. Half-time all aboard. 2 games taking place so far. And we have had goals in the first 45 minutes. They'll feel like they're back in this one, though, won't they? Replied Tottenham.
Yeah, 100%. I think when you're looking into that and you're going, oh, we're 2-0 down after that first leg, it's going to be a difficult ask. We need that goal early. We said about it, and they did that. So going in, it's 45 minutes, which if they don't score in the next 15, 20 minutes, that's when it will get a little bit interesting, because Heretics then have the opportunity to capitalise on that, look for those balls in behind, using the wing. And we know they like a cross as well, Heretics. So it's a big ask for Reply Totem in this second half, but the main thing is they've given themselves a lifeline.
Yeah, should we have a look at the goal that was the lifeline, as you're calling it, Alex? Because at one point, I didn't think that the chance was going to be going in.
No, it just comes through into Ronaldo. He takes that shot. Keeper, I think, just gets about something on it. It goes onto the post, but Ronaldo reacts the quickest. As I said, during the build-up of that, the best thing about it to me was looking for that cross, winning that header, and you just have that opportunity. When you get into those areas, if you can say, I want to go for the cross, I want to use my skill moves, it makes it so difficult for teams to defend, even someone like Heretics.
Yeah, but they have got 45 minutes to turn it around. Let's have a look at the goal from Crew. We'll see it a bit later. Only because the second legs, or the second halves of the second legs have just unfolded. We don't want to miss any of the action, but as we said, Crew are leading MGCF Esports. Both these games have kicked off literally at the same time. Heretics need a goal, I'll be honest. Yes, they'll be happy to sit on a 1-0 lead, but it will be a very nervy next 45. Messi. Kimpembe and Hullet will interchange. That's their midfield duo. Cross it comes. Flick on. They're doing well. They're just doing their best to pull apart and dismantle Team Heretics where they can.
They are indeed. But going back to that point about maybe another goal needed for Team Heretics, we saw it last weekend. Mateus up against Umut. He got 1 goal really early on, and he was happy over those 2 legs to try and see it out for that 1-0 lead. What happened? Umut got his chance. Umut went on to win that game. Reply Totem, highest scoring team in this competition so far. That 1 goal might not just do it. They will get an opportunity in this second half, and it's just whether they capitalise on it.
They've been all over Heretics. Marcelo. in the ascendancy. Marcelo, where's he going to lay? Is he going to go on his own? Surely not. Especially when you've got the options of Ronaldo in support in the box. Maybe they've overworked it slightly here. They put Ginola in a very wide position. And again, Heretics were able to just pick up the ball.
Heretics actually extremely lucky there. They went for an offside trap, which if Reply Totem drove the byline, it would have just been a simple cutback, a simple tap-in for Montaxa and Santil. However, Hullet just turned back, and by the time that they've done that, that offside trap just gets the players back through.
Nice little scoop turn for R9 there. This is Heretics building. One of their only chances they've been able to create so far this game. I've been a big fan of Hakimi ever since his in-game item hit the streets on FIFA 22. In it goes. What can happen here from Hullet on a plate? Militao. Not quite. But there has been a goal elsewhere. Let's go and see what's happening. It's the man that's sitting about 4 metres away from his monitor. Crepoli that's got the goal. Let's have a look at the goal.
Ronaldo with that near post finish. Again, it looked like that typical pass off across, having that composure to find your man and giving them their best opportunity to put it past the goalkeeper. Van der Sar just too slow onto that. And that is a reply from Crew.
Nice game on.
Well, reply from MGF, sorry, I should say, against Crew. Giving it game on. We've got two very tight games here, Ronald.
I mean, as we've said, these two did match up back in the early stages of June, where they played in the playoffs for the FIFA E-Club World Cup. It was a result that MGCF Esports had, winning 2-1. Obviously, Crew did still qualify for that as a top 2 team in the South America region. There's a lot of history in that game, and I can imagine it's going to get even more tightly contested. We will do our best to keep you up to date with everything that does happen in that game. Just under 30 minutes left. Same over here. Substitutions being made. Anything coming to your eye in this one other than Reply Totem literally throwing numbers forward?
Yeah, it's something that they've actually been using a little bit throughout this tournament. The Italians like the 4-3-2-1. That's something that we noticed at the E-Serie A. However, they've also developed that into a 3-4-2-1. So you've still got those men in the middle. So if your opponent is playing 3-5-2 or a 5 at the back, which you may see Heretics move to as the game goes on, you have your 3 men in the middle, but you also have the overlap from that right mid and left mid. Constant pressure coming through as well from Reply Totem, knowing if we lose the ball, let's press hard, let's press high up the pitch, and let's see if we can capitalise on the numbers that we're going to commit forward.
Well, they've not lost the game yet, have they? Reply Totem. That was across 10 individual games of FIFA. Well, they clawed themselves out as